So, Lilith's chamber.
Lilith's room.
Yes.
A very iconic room.
One of my favourites.
Yeah, so it's really good. I think this was one of the first nightmare rooms that I can remember when they had the tongue.
The serpent's tongue. A lot of people's favourite. That.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when I first did the rough, I had horns on the serpent's head, and I was asked, well, okay, when you come to do the painting, drop the horns. It's a bit too demonic. And that room was specifically designed for Lilith sitting on her rock to the left of the serpent's mouth. And it was only later it became used for any other purpose they could come up with. Any other puzzle that would fit it was welcomed. And that was a theme that carried on throughout the 3 series, that general purpose rooms were quite important because they wanted to stretch it so that they could add more puzzles and devise them as they went along.
And was that quite common, reuse of rooms?
It developed more and more as the series went on. So, by 3, there were definitely multi-use rooms.
So they're getting their money's worth out of your work.
Yes, spinning it out.
Rather than paying for new rooms as they should have been.
The enjoyable thing about the Lilith room was the dais that she was sat on was a set of blocks. They were 1 or 2 metres long and 1 metre square. And I had to place the drawing of that block into the grid to actually diagonally bisect floor grid, for floor squares. And then to actually see it all come together in a series, to see Lilith sitting there with the robes draped over the rocks was just awesome for me, to see that it all worked. And that was due to all the team gelling together behind that grid. The grid just permeated the whole team, and that's how it came to look so convincing.
It all comes down to the grid, basically.
Yeah. And the other thing, of course, they did with the chroma key was to have soft light all the background and really put very hot spots onto the actors so that they would cast a strong shadow and they could retain that as a shadow. And of course, I think it's the first time I've ever seen chroma key show a figure anchored to the background painting with a proper perspective shadow.
So normally you'd want to get rid of the shadow, I guess, because you can't necessarily ensure consistency. But in this case, they were actively trying to create it in order to...
It was a brilliantly done job.
That's really clever.
It really pushed the envelope with chroma key.
And can you tell us a little more? You were talking earlier about grids.
Yeah.
The grids that were used for this. But I understand actually it's not just one grid that was used all the way through. There are actually a variety?
Yeah, the basis for the first set of rooms was the Jean-Père grid.
Yeah.
But they asked me to extend the grid backwards, which you just do by bisecting squares until you get them correct, to make corridor rooms, and then a lower perspective viewpoint, which was having the horizon line at the middle of the back wall, so bang in the centre of the screen, all the geometry would vanish to that point. So I had to make that.
And you change your camera location to match which of the grids you'd used.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Do you know one thing I've always really wanted to do, and that's go down the serpent's mouth.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's something I've always wanted to do.
No.
I've got a feeling I'm about to.
I have a feeling that's our only way out.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh well, off we go.
Mind out for the bad breath.